Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to break up with his girlfriend to condition his heart. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to give Modelo a choice. Tony Ferguson is the type of guy to say come in when you knock on the bathroom stall he's in. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to travel to Dagestan to help Khabib train on how to fight him someday. Tony Ferguson is the type of guy to sit next to you on an empty bus. Tony Ferguson is the type of guy that asks for the scale to be weighed before weigh-ins. Tony Ferguson burned the Amazon rainforest so there would be less oxygen to improve his conditioning. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to flush the toilet with a spinning elbow. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to make championship weight just to take a dump. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to train his trainers. Tony Ferguson is the type of guy to measure Helwani's nose before an interview. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to show up at UFC 242 to jump into the cage fight Khabib and Dustin 2v1. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to thumbs down his own. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy comment and still get top comment. Tony Ferguson is the type of guy to interview Joe Rogan after a fight. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to break dance on Dancing with the Stars. Tony is the type of guy to fly to Abu Dhabi last minute and then watch the fights on an illegal stream. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to look his barber in the eyes when he's getting an edge up. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to sell his car for gas money. When Tony Ferguson turned 18, his parents moved out. Tony Ferguson is the type of guy to walk on water and swim through beach sand. Tony Ferguson is the type of guy to put Vaseline on the cutman's face between rounds. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy who licks his thumb when he turns a page on iPad. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy who asking Herb Dean, "Are you ready?" before start fighting. Tony, the type of guy to wear a Tony Ferguson mask during a robbery. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to wear the interim belt to hold his pants up. Tony, the type of guy to wash his hands after a shower. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to be the only one talked about in the comments section for a fight card he's not even in. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to only take his sunglasses off to challenge the sun to a staring contest. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy who will ask himself for an autograph. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to introduce Bruce Buffer into the ring. Tony Ferguson, type of guy to kick himself in the balls, then give his opponent 5 minutes to recover. Tony, the type of guy to stare at the orange juice box because it says concentrate. Tony Ferguson, the type of guy to wake everyone up to tell them he's going to sleep. Tony Ferguson, the type of dude to pick up Dustin from the airport in full Arab chic attire.